Hello everyone and welcome back to the Silicon Sounds YouTube channel where we're all about music, audio for the rest of us. Dongles here, dongles there, dongles everywhere. If you're not familiar with dongles in the portable audio space, you will be after this video. The longer you stay in this rabbit hole called portable audio, the hashtag dongle madness will be ingrained in your mind. Well, great things do come in small packages. The dongle represents a definite plus with respect to portability while still retaining a fantastic amount of sound quality. One of my favorites that we're going to talk about today and review is the Shanling UA2. It's been around for a little while. Fantastic construction from Shanling, a very well respected company that makes also earphones amongst other devices as well, and fast are growing in terms of reputation on what they do with dongles. So let's talk about this one. Let's go specs first and foremost. So what we have here, interchangeable cables using a USB-C connector. So it comes with the USB-C connector. It comes with the USB-C to USB-A connector as well, or adapter, and of course the dongle itself. Quite a simple package. There's a special mode offering compatibility with the Nintendo Switch. If we look very carefully at the dongle itself, there is a mode button right here, and that will increase compatibility with the Nintendo Switch and other devices, changing up the USB implementation. What we have here on this dongle are both a 3.5 millimeter single-ended out and a 2.5 millimeter balanced out. In the center we have an indicator LED that changes color depending on the type of file and the profile for decoding. Inside in the guts in this beautiful aluminum casing, very well built by the way, it is powered by an ESS ES9038Q2M DAC paired with a Recore RT6863 amplifier. High-res support goes up to PCM32, 768, and DSD512S. The power output on the 2.5 balanced millimeter out is 195 milliwatts at 32 ohms, and the 3.5 single-ended output power is rated at 125 milliwatts at 32 ohms. The size is, as you can see, about the same dimensions as a stick or pack of chewing gum, 54 by 18 by 9 millimeters. The weight is only 12.6 grams. And as we said, what's included in the box is the USB-C to C cable and the USB-C to A adapter. So it's compact and it's well built, all-in-one DAC-AM dongle with a very nice addition of a 2.5 millimeter balanced output, which is not seen as often in these dongles. Obvious care has been taken in both its construction and circuitry implementation. With dongles, there really isn't much to say. It's all about how it sounds. The vast majority of them should work out of the box, with a few caveats we'll discuss. MQA, though, out of the box is not supported, but realistically, I don't find this an issue at all that's worth worrying about unless you're a hardcore Tidal MQA fan. I am not. I primarily use Apple Music if I need to stream my music, so I'm good to go. Setup and use, the Shanling is pretty much plug and play. We do have the compatibility, the mode button, once again, right there. If you can get some focus, there you go. For other devices, of course, with Android devices, and this is an Android setup here, we have the USB-C to C. You want to make sure that your OTG is turned on. You'll find that in system settings on your Android phone, or else this will not be able to work. In most Android devices, in particular computers, it was a plug-and-play affair. That's about it. That's the only caveat I would have to talk about with respect to getting it to work out of the box. Of course, I talked about the multicolor LED. In use, though, the Shanling UA2 does get warm, but it's never bothersome or harmful to either itself or any device that's connected to it. It's just built really well. It feels secure in your hand, but how does it sound? Well, let's stay right ahead. There's a set of people who say that everything sounds the same in terms of electronics. I'm not one of those people. In a perfect world, though, the job of a DAC or amplifier is to follow the well-known mantra, principle, straight wire with gain. Unfortunately, or fortunately, this doesn't happen that often. The Shanling UA2 for the most part does follow this mantra, but injects some of its own subtle characteristics as well. The UA2 overall presents a very clean and transparent sound. Ample power is on tap, and that's heard with very good representation of dynamics and transients. This is even heightened when using the 2.5 millimeter out right here, where you have a little bit more power and just a little bit more cleanliness and liveliness to the sound. Layer separation was excellent, and imaging was also very good, if not exactly 3D expansive. Texture and pacing were very well done with the UA2, not getting in the way of the music. Treble was very sweet. I found treble on the UA2 extremely sweet, very listenable, delicate yet firm. Very, very, very nice. The instant that there is a slight character though, and there are instances you will find that character is in the bass. While it was fast, detailed, and went deep with great authority and clarity, there was a noted slight bass emphasis. This can be heard even more when listening to IEMs such as the famous K-Bear Believe, which already has a very thick low end, and we're all talking about synergy here, okay? When I was listening to my iBasso IT01X, I also noticed that this may not be the best synergy for IEMs or earphones that already have authoritative or borderline over-authoritative bass, for example. There's a definite lift in the low registers with the UA2, but switching over to my desktop setup, this was alleviated. But my desktop setup's a little bit more complex. Obviously, we have an SMSL Sanskrit 10th DAC paired to a topping A50S amplifier. I also have a Zudu MT602, which of course has some of the same characteristics as the UA2 with respect to bass, in that it does have some bass emphasis. Still, the UA2 was exceptional in its fidelity from top to bottom. Absolutely fantastic. Let's talk about synergy. While it may not synergize as well, although it does still sound fantastic with the K-Bear Believe, what really works super well with the UA2 is IEMs that are bright neutral. Perfect example, HZ Sound Heart Mirror works very well with the Shanling UA2. Helps to flush out the lower registers slightly, as the Heart Mirror is known to have not as much bass output as some would like, although the quality is fantastic. Another IEM that really benefits from using with the AA2 from the synergy achieved is the Moji Monica H2O. Again, another bright neutral earphone. Let me bring back in the Heart Mirror, which in my opinion is a more mature Heart Mirror. That's how I quickly characterize the sound quality or the sound tuning of the Moji Monica H2O. Both of them sound fantastic with the Shanling UA2. In the Shanling UA2, we have a product that requires lots of mind bending to discover, let alone or highlight any weaknesses. It's very difficult for me to actually talk about weaknesses when it comes to the UA2. It's powered quite well. In terms of power draw, I would call it moderate. Not as much as one of the other ones I'm going to show you soon, for example, the Apogee Groove. But still, it worked well with my OnePlus 3, but will even work better and have a slight lift in the audio performance in using a cell phone that is certified USB 3.0 or 3.1 with that extra added power available to the DAC amp. Does get warm, as mentioned before. That's not an issue. Soundstage and imaging may not be as holographic as, for example, maybe my desktop setup, but it is extremely pleasing nonetheless. It would be, if I'd say anything, and I'm nitpicking here, after using a few others, such as the Apogee Groove, and I'll show you a comparison soon, what the UA2 really is missing is tactile volume buttons. I would love it to have that. That would be a major plus, instead of me having to constantly reach for the source, which is usually my phone. But I'm nitpicking here. Let's compare it a little bit to the size of different DAC amps that are out there. This is the form factor. This is the Venture Electronics Abigail. You can see the difference in size. Absolutely. We're comparing really apples and oranges here. The Shanling UA2 at over $80 retail is almost 7 times as expensive as the Abigail, maybe 5 times, I'm not sure exactly at the time of this video. Still, in terms of overall sound quality, the Abigail does really do very well, but it just doesn't approach that of the Shanling UA2. We'll get another one in here, probably my favorite. I've already, I'm gonna have a video on this when I have some time. The Apogee Groove, it's an older unit, uses a micro USB as opposed to USB-C. There you go. This is an audiophile's dongle. Now, I don't say that in a bad sense. Musicality on this is unmatched with any of the dongle I've listened to so far. The UA2 is a little bit more sterile, not as liquid, if you might say, than the Groove. In terms of overall musicality, it does come close, but it cannot match the Groove in overall musicality. Still, the UA2 is a fantastic performer and much more compatible. The Groove, while it can use USB, it's limited to, of course, USB 2.0 or to micro USB connection. Sorry if please correct me. And its power draw on the Groove is significantly higher than on the UA2. But the sound quality is absolutely fantastic. The Groove is pushing what I would call portability. It is in size, but in function, it really does better when you're using it with a laptop or with a desktop computer. Let's get another one in here. This is not a dongle. Get that adapter out of there. This is the IFI Hip DAC. 4.4 balance, 3.5 millimeter single-ended. It's got power match. It's got a bunch of different features. Yep, still on. Very good. It's got gain, 6 decibel gain, power match. It's got a type of X-Bass, I should say, not power match, which is beautiful for IEM, such as the heart mirror. So it's got a few more features, but it's not really a dongle. Although it has a battery built in, it doesn't take power for this power amplifier from the source, I should say, like their cell phone or whatever you're using it with. It has its own built-in battery. Obviously, it's like a flask of booze. It's quite a bit larger, heavier than the UA2, and really serves a different function. In terms of sound quality, though, the UA2 is more sterile in a good way. It's cleaner, but not clean room clean. It's got slightly more extended highs. The lows are fantastic on the UA2 as well. The Hip DAC has a warmer presentation, warmer, more comfortable in a way, more like a warm blanket, while the UA2 is more like a high-tech polyfill. Still keeps you warm, but is lighter, definitely lighter in terms of weight. Both of them are fantastic, but I find they serve completely different functions. So all in all, I find myself reaching for the UA2 more often because it's easier to deal with. Plug right into the phone, put in my headphones, I've got music. So in conclusion, the Shanling UA2, in it, we have a product that is very reasonable asking price. At $80-something, it is definitely worth it. If you're used to all the $10 and $15 dongles like the Abigail, to jump from here to here financially might be a big pull. But what we're really getting here is a more refined and detailed sound. Don't get me wrong, Abigail sounds tremendously good. I find the UA2, though, synergizes with a more vast amount of different types of IEMs as compared to a lot of the others. It offers exceptional sound in a very compact and well-built form factor, all for under $85 US. MQA compatibility is missing, but that's not an issue in my book whatsoever. The addition of a balanced out is the real icing on the cake. I would take that over MQA compatibility any day. This dongle gets a very, very firm recommendation. I've had a number of dongles in my possession. I even had the dongle bag. Thank you very much for those that supplied me with it to test over 15 or 20 different kinds of dongles. And I keep coming back to a few of them, including the Shanling UA2 and the legendary Apogee Groove. So that's my review of the Shanling UA2. If you're in the market for a dongle, there's a lot of them being thrown out there. Many of them are just rehashes of older designs. The UA2, in my opinion, they've done it differently. They've really paid attention to what makes a dongle work very well. The internal circuitry design, implementation is obviously fantastic. Build quality is off the charts. Gets a very, very strong recommendation. And if you have those bright neutral earphones, once again, some examples right here. The UA2 is a definite synergistic joy to work with them. So that's my review of the Shanling UA2. Please subscribe, tell other people about the channel. We're moving out there, we're going on up. We want to bring you into the family. Take care, everybody, and see you in the next video.